back to the greatest Houston-based podcast in the world, the Weekly D Podcast. I'm your host, Danny G, and today we got an illustrious guest, co-host of the Opinionated Podcast. He runs the Spidie Off the Web YouTube channel, and he's best known for his music videos because he's a music director. Please allow me to introduce y'all to SpidieWebHer.
What's up? What's up, you guys? How y'all doing?
What's up, man? How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm
How's
doing
life?
good. I'm doing good. It's another night. I'm on vacation, so I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm on
That's the
vacation.
best, man.
Yes,
It's the
sir.
best. You gotta enjoy it, especially on a Friday. We got a long weekend coming up.
Right, and it's Labor Day weekend. I know people outside doing all types of stuff. They ain't got no business.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah, man. I'm excited to have you on. We've had you on once before. It was lots of fun. It was a great interview. It was cool to just like reminisce with you because I've known you for a minute now. Like I've known you since 7th grade, 8th grade.
Yeah, it's been a long
You know,
time.
I've known you when you used to like wrestling because that's
Yeah,
how we
no,
connected.
definitely. I rewatched it a few weeks ago. Just because my girl be watching SmackDown. I'm like, man, I was really into that. Like, it's still cool, but man, I was really like, it's crazy.
Bro,
Yeah,
we were all into it, man. That was our main squeeze right there. That's
yeah,
that's how we bonded over wrestling and
we
fucking
did.
basketball.
Yeah, we'll come to. I be like, well, I can't wait to go to school and talk to them about what just happened on Raw. Yeah, it's crazy. I remember for sure.
That was awesome, man. I miss those days. I recently stumbled across old pictures of like when we were all in high school, all hanging out, and it brought me back to like just getting to know all y'all. Like y'all used to be in a dance crew, the Bebe Kids. Now y'all do a podcast, like all y'all
Right.
together. It's beautiful to see how y'all have all grown up and kind of expanded on your own worlds. You got into music videos, which is fucking awesome. You do an
Thank you.
amazing
I
job with
appreciate
them.
it.
Big fan of that.
Thank
But
you. I appreciate it.
I mean, what got you? Like, I know you probably get asked this question all the time, and I think I know part of the answer because I think I've asked you before. But like, what really got you into doing music videos? Like, how did that become your thing? Like, how did SpidieWebHer become the director?
Gotcha. So the SpidieWebHer part came from when we had our dance group. We had made I wanted to make a Twitter to put underneath me when I was dancing on our videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where that came from. But to go along with that, so in our dance group, we had the Baby Kids. I'm having hiccups. I was always the one editing all our videos, all our dance videos. I was always the one editing them and putting them together. So what happened was Alex Spacely decided to start doing music, like transfer over from dancing to doing music too. So I was like, well, shoot, since I edit all our music video, all our dance videos, let me try to edit a music video. So and at that time I didn't have a camera I thought was music video worthy. I had one of the point and shoot cameras from Walmart. So I didn't really have a video camera. I thought that was useful. But I do remember a friend of mine, which we still cool now to this day. I don't know if you remember Joe Cruz.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Joe Cruz. So Joe Cruz had his own like DSLR, actual DSLR camera. At the time I thought it was like a cinema camera, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he had his own DSLR camera and he had editing software. So I was like, man, I'm gonna see if Joe will let me shoot the video. What is it? Okay, I was gonna see if Joe is gonna let me shoot the video with his camera, and then I hold on real quick.
Oh, you good?
Oh,
All right, Jarvis is having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's
yeah,
all
my
good.
bad. Yeah, I didn't want my computer to die. But yeah, so I was saying that I was like, yeah, let's see if Joe will let us shoot and edit the video with his equipment. And he did. And I mean, so the very first video I shot was uh uh what's it called? It was a Drake remix that Spacely did. Started from the bottom. It was started from the
Mhm,
bottom, and we shot it at one of the parks in Richmond, Rosenberg.
mhm,
And I shot it, and then I edited at Joe Cruz's studio at his house.
mhm.
And when I tell you, it took me like at least like 7 hours to edit that video. That now I can edit that exact same video the exact same way in like 30 minutes. But it took me 7 hours to do that. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's a learning curve, man. Like I said,
Yeah.
like I told you before we started, I cannot do video. It takes so damn long to edit it that it frustrates me.
Right now, I feel you. So yeah, I did that, and then afterwards, a lot of people gave me, because I'm gonna be honest, I participated in a lot of different things at high school, dancing, some sports like track and football and cross country,
Mhm,
but I wasn't really like great at any of those things. Dancing I was pretty good, but I
mhm,
didn't find myself getting like, I didn't find nothing that, I got into dancing because Spacely
mhm.
and Douglas was dancers, and my
Yeah.
homeboy Joey was dancers. So because they was dancers, I always wanted to like get into dancing. So that kind of
Mhm,
what got me into that. But it's not that I had my own thing. And when made this video for Spacely and I put it out there, everybody was like, "Oh man, you so talented, man! This is so good. Like, you know what
mhm,
you're doing." And this is my first music video, and it kind of gave me that feeling that even to this day I still get sometimes. But it gave me that feeling that like I found something that works for me, or
mhm,
organically. Like it's not something that like I was just following somebody to figure out what I want to do. I actually found something that worked for me, that's organic.
mhm.
And so I continued to dive into that rabbit hole. I was like, people say I'm good. Let me see how good I can really get.
Mhm.
And as time went on, I invested more into it till I am who I am today.
Hey, that's beautiful, man. I mean, not not to say you haven't accomplished much, but I mean, you just did a video with Peso Peso, who's one of the top like Latin artists in Houston right now.
Right,
Like
right.
you've had so much success in such a short amount of time. Even though I bet to you it feels like forever, but I mean, you're what,
Mm.
28, 29,
Yeah,
at 30 at the
29. Yeah.
most. Like, and you're already like have big videos with big people, and like that's awesome to see as someone, just sitting on the sidelines consuming what you're producing. It's just really dope to see that, you got someone like that. How'd that
Thank you. I
feel?
appreciate it. Oh, it was pretty cool. He was featured on a song that I did a video for,
Hmm.
and uh it's cool. I know the industry kind of be all over the place. Rappers tend to be all over the place, but
Hmm.
the 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 direction of it was pretty good. We got what we needed to get, and knocked it out. It turned out pretty well, and I think I made the most out of that situation. That was pretty cool. So
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It definitely
Hmm.
wasn't. Then I'm the type of person where I like to take things and then, like I said, get the most out of what I'm doing and create all the different content and stuff around the things I'm doing to be a little different. So
Hmm.
that's where the comic book thing came from. So
Yeah. So where'd
yeah.
that idea come from? Because I think it's probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen someone do. Is turn a music
Man.
video into a comic book.
Right, right. Yeah, I appreciate that. So at my job, I kind of work. I work outside. I'm actually right. So if I didn't know if I want to say that, but I don't really
I
care.
can
I'm
believe
a
that.
right.
That's all
So I
good.
spend a lot of time outside,
Uh-huh.
and so I have a lot of time to think. And I tell people all the time, like 90% of my ideas I come up with it while I'm on my route at work,
Uh-huh.
because I'm alone. It's quiet outside. It's just me, so I got a lot of time to think.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I can't even remember exactly what made me think about that,
Uh-huh.
but it what assisted in it was I wanted to be different.
Hmm.
And like you were saying before we got in the air, like I took this Spider-Man thing and I turned it into something that works for me, and branding myself around that.
Yeah.
So it kind of gave like this, anything superhero like, anything in that lane is something I want to use to help brand myself. So
Mhm.
I was like, man, comic books is normally used for like superheroes and things like that. I was like,
Mhm.
man, what if I make a music video into a comic book? And it was bizarre. I'm like, bro, I've never seen nobody do this. And mind you, you know where I grew up from, Mustang
Yeah.
Cross and all that type of stuff. Bro, I
Mhm.
don't know nobody that knows how to make a book. I don't got no friends that know how to make. I don't got no role models that make books like that.
Uh-huh.
So I literally came up with an idea on my own, and I had to put my boots on and figure out, okay, Jarvis, how you gonna make this into a book? Like, what are you going like?
Mhm.
How is this gonna be possible? And I experimented with a lot of different ways. The first book took me forever because I went through all these different trial and errors with different programs to put it together. And
Mhm.
then once the second one, I figured out a method. And then the third one, I kind of just isolated on that method, and it
Mhm.
made it a lot easier. But man, it was beautiful. When I made that very first comic book, I was like, I can't believe I just did this. I
Yeah.
literally took an idea that came from my mind, and I manifested it and created it into something that was real, that I could
Mhm.
physically touch. And when I finally put it out there to the world on Instagram, when I tell you, I got so many compliments like, bro, you a genius, bro. This is gonna go crazy. Cause like you said,
Yeah.
nobody is doing that. Like
Yeah.
nobody in the industry is doing that.
Mhm.
So I figure like, man, I know I make dope videos, but it's a lot of dope directors out there.
Mhm.
This sets me apart from everybody else. I could see myself, shooting videos, and then like, let's say like J. Cole or somebody be like, "Hey man, you heard about little homie? It's this little dude in Houston that be making like music videos into like comic books or something." Like, bro, like go
Yeah.
reach out to him. Like, I want to work with him. I can see that could be like my Cole Bennett moment. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like it
Yeah.
really just set me away from everybody else. And
Mhm.
and that's what my dad was telling me, like, man, you need to capitalize on that, because nobody else is doing it. That can be something that you lead the track in, and then of course
Yeah.
people gonna want to copy it and follow it. But if you lead it first, you'll always be known as the guy that was the first one to do it,
Yeah.
and the one that really set the branch. I kind of like how Cole Bennett did with all these crazy effects and stuff.
Yeah. No, that's super dope. Like when I first saw it, I was like, man, I was like, only Jarvis would have thought about this. Like only SpidieWebHer would have thought about this.
I
I was like,
appreciate
it
it.
makes sense. You love comic books. You got the whole Spidey brand behind you, and I was
Yeah,
like, it makes sense. And to for you to have been the one that thought about it was fucking dope because it's
yeah.
true. Like you're the first one doing it, and I'm sure a lot of people, as the word keeps going out that you're making these, and you
Hmm.
keep dropping them. I mean, people are gonna want them. People are gonna
Yeah.
want them. People making getting music videos made are gonna want them. Especially
Hmm.
like if it's someone that it's their first music video, and then you make a comic book after it. I mean, they'll never forget that ever again in
Never.
their life.
And that's a thing. I don't mean to cut you off, but that's the thing that I wanted to mention. I want the experience of the client I'm working with. I want them to not just get a video out of me like the typical videographer.
Hmm.
I want them working with me to be an experience.
Hmm.
So I want them to be able to come to me, get a good vibe, have I'm at video shoots. I be having like long conversations. I just
Hmm.
entertain my clients. I talk to them, and I want them to have a good vibe, good energy, uh, with good concepts, good ideas, and produce a great video. And then, like you
Hmm.
say, and follow up with a comic book. They gonna feel like, bro, I don't get this experience nowhere else. When I go to
Hmm.
everybody else, it's just I get a video done and they go about their business. With you, I get an experience, and then that's what makes them want to keep coming back. So when you said that, it just
Yeah.
made me think about, yeah, I really want to give people an experience when they come to
Yeah.
shoot with me. It's not just you get a video and gonna dip out. Like it's gonna be a whole experience with it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's like, so like when I started podcasting and stuff, and trying to dabble in comedy and things like that, and just in general, in life, I I was lucky that I had a lot of mentors in my other career, where
Mhm.
they taught me a lot of different things about life, and especially because they were old heads, right? They're OGs, and they just had a lot of knowledge, and they always told me, be undeniable at whatever you do, be undeniable at it, make yourself like a mark, make yourself memorable. And what you're doing with these comic books is you're being undeniably great at what you do and undeniably offering an amazing service to anyone who hires you. I mean, that's super
Thank
fucking
you.
dope.
I
And
appreciate it.
like I said, I think it's a cool idea. I can't wait till you drop like a whole series of them.
I know, right? I sold my first one today. So
Uh-huh.
the one with the peso,
Hmm.
the fans of the group that I made the video for,
Hmm.
and I made the comic for, they he had hit me. He was like, "Man, people keep asking me where to buy these," and
Hmm.
at first, like I knew it was gonna get to the point where I want to sell them.
Hmm.
I didn't know how I was gonna go about doing that yet, so that was something I didn't think I was gonna do this soon.
Hmm.
But man, I got the link together and I sold my first one today. I don't know how many they bought. I haven't looked yet, but
Yeah.
I know a few. I'm sure a few people already
I
done
mean,
bought some already.
it don't matter. It's the first one. If one person buys it, you're
Yeah,
already
yeah.
succeeded, man.
That's all that matters, man. I
You're
took
already
something that
winning.
was in my head that was just a thought, made it
Yeah.
real, and somebody found value in it enough to
Uh-huh.
give them a
Are
hard
you?
earned money to buy.
Yeah. Are you printing them out for yourself? Like, are you keeping them as like a
Yeah.
collection? Yeah.
So actually, give me a second. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show
Okay.
you the three I got. Hold on.
All
It's
right.
right over here. Hold on.
All right. Dope. All right. Jarvis is gonna go grab the comic books that he's created, which is pretty fucking dope. He's literally turned his music videos into comic books. I've seen the online versions and they look pretty cool. Let's see what he got.
All right. So what I do is my rule of thumb is if for every book I order, I gotta at least order me one copy gotta at least stay with me.
Uh-huh.
So everybody else if they want 30 copies, I order 31 because I'm gonna keep
Uh-huh.
one for myself.
Hell
So
yeah.
this is the first one, the
Uh-huh.
Stib Bar, which is one of my best videos to date. I mean, I got a lot of other
Yeah.
good ones too, but this is one of my favorite ones because I put a lot of effort into this video,
Yeah,
and
you
this
made the
video really
box,
got my
right?
name out there. Yeah, that
Yeah.
box thing, right? Yeah, I made that myself, and then because I did that, that got my name out a lot to where a lot of people, it was people in Austin and Dallas,
Mhm.
like, "Oh, Mo, you the guy that did that? I heard about that." So like, it kind of got my name out with this videos. I put a lot of effort into it. So
Yeah.
I got the pages
Dude, that thing is
and
so dope.
whatnot. Yeah,
It
it's
looks like a legit like comic
comic
book.
book. Yeah, so
You know what you need to do is get them signed, right?
yeah,
So
yeah, I
you
do.
got one of each one, and they're all signed.
And they all sign and yeah, for sure. So
Dude, I mean, the people you're working with, some of them are destined to reach huge
yeah,
numbers. Imagine if you
mhm.
got that comic book signed, you got the one of
Right.
one. I mean, you're just
Hmm.
creating a collector's item at that point.
At that point, I sure am. And you sure right. So that's the first one. Then the second one I did with my brother. This is I really
Alright.
love this video. Yeah, the no effort and
Yeah, I like that video too. Shout out to Byron, by the way. He's gonna come on the
yeah,
podcast too. I think he's our next
yeah.
guest
Oh,
after
he is.
you.
Oh, okay. That's what's
Yeah,
up. Yeah, that's what's
yeah.
up. Yeah, my brother be doing this thing, man. No, for sure. Yeah. So yeah, and for every video, so that's my logo. But for every
Mhm.
video, not every video, but every book, I put the QR code at the back. So when you scan this QR code, it takes you to the actual music video. So
Oh,
that's
that's dope,
yeah.
dude.
So you get to read about it, and then at the end of it, you can scan the
You
code,
get to
and that
watch
take
it.
you to the actual video. And then the same with the peso and them.
Hundo? Yeah, Clutch Hundo?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man.
Yeah, they be doing their
Dude,
thing, bro. So
that's fucking awesome.
yeah, it's tight, bro. I love it. So it's a
Hell
cool
yeah.
thing, man. So those are the only three I got so far. I'm working on the fourth one. So and
Uh-huh.
I'll tweak them as I go because I'm still, even though I'm pushing them. I'm still in the learning phases. So I
Mm-hmm.
realized, like, so you notice on each book is something different. So up
Yeah.
here, I got my logo. Don't know why I did that instead of putting the number of pages. So,
Yeah.
and then at the bottom of it, I got the part cut off of it. I don't know how that happened. Well,
Yeah.
so it was all a portion. I didn't do that right. But this is my very first one. And then I
Uh-huh.
don't have on the back, like I said, I got the QR code and everything, but
Uh-huh.
I don't have the you know how
The
I got
logo
the
on top.
stars on the
Yeah.
yeah. So so that's that one. Then on this one
Uh-huh.
was good. I kind of figured out this is kind of one of my favorite covers. So I
Yeah.
got that one right. But what I didn't do is I didn't change
The
the
one.
number one right here to put number
Uh-huh.
two. So because it's the issue number two.
Yeah.
And then I got written by, which I still got that on here, but I'm gonna change that on the fourth one. So I
Uh-huh.
got that. So it's just different stuff like that that I done figured out. And then
Yeah.
on this one, oh, so I got this fake barcode too. You see
Uh-huh.
this fake barcode? This ain't even a real barcode. So on the third one, I instead of putting a barcode, I swapped it out
For
and put
QR
a
code.
QR code, and that QR code will take you to my website where SpidieWebHer comics is
Gotcha.
at. And then on the
Okay.
back, the QR code will take you to the
So
video.
video.
So yeah, so a little different little
That's
knickknacks
dope.
like that. And then on the next one, I done changed something on the front too. So it's just
Uh-huh.
learning as I go. And so I find that method that's perfect,
Yeah.
and then I go with
No,
that.
that's wild, dude. That's really dope. You're literally in the Stan Lee of music videos now.
Right. Definitely. I got my own lane, man. I got my own
No,
lane.
that's really cool, man. So besides music videos, I mean, you also do a YouTube series.
Mm-hmm.
Um, what made you want to do YouTube and your music videos and a podcast and who knows what other million things you do at a time?
Right. So I'm the type of guy, right? Because my business where I do music videos is a service based business.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I love it. Music videos is still my first passion. So
Mm-hmm.
I tell people all the time. A lot of other directors I work with talk about how like the music video game is saturated, and I believe it is. But I love it so much. I don't think I would ever just completely stop doing it. Like
Mm-hmm.
wholeheartedly. Nobody can ever come up to me and be like, "But you do music videos?" And I tell them, "No, I don't shoot them no more." Like I might not shoot them for the masses, but
Uh-huh.
it's always gonna be somebody I'm willing to do a music video for. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna forever keep doing them. It might not be to as many people, but something I always will, right? But the reason why I brought that up is because it's a service based business. So as the game gets saturated and like as of right now, music videos for people are starting to slow down and people want to just do more like content and focus on
Mm-hmm.
music videos later, and the game is starting to change. I wanted to find something that I could work on for myself because it's easy to get into this type of work
Mm-hmm.
and and lose track on yourself. It's
Mm-hmm.
so easy to focus on other people, other artists, and other brands, and not focus on you. Like you
Mm-hmm.
put the value in, of course, your talent, but making opportunities and making money and making viralness for other people,
Mm-hmm.
but not using those same talents to elevate yourself. And that's
Gotcha.
where the YouTube and the podcasting came in,
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted to be able to use them same gifts that I use to blow other people up or give other people platforms. I want to use them same gifts to do it for me. Because don't get me wrong, I get notoriety and stuff for making great videos and music videos,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to have that notoriety outside of only making videos, because I don't want to be where people are only. I got this complex, right? And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to be long winded, but you know how I call myself Spidey, right? Or people
Yeah.
call my clients call me Spidey, and I kind of got this like Spider-Man Peter Parker complex, a theory, where
Okay.
like the Jarvis Parson to me is the guy that works, the guy that
Mm-hmm.
my friends and family know and the people that grew up with me know. And then
Mm-hmm.
I got clients that don't even know my real name. They just know me as Spidey. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So like I got this complex where it's like I want, when I take off the mask, I still want to be recognized as somebody great.
Mm-hmm.
So the metaphor of me taking off the mask is me putting the camera down or pointing the camera at myself. That's
Gotcha.
the metaphor of me taking the mask off. Because
Mm-hmm.
people are used to Spidey shooting amazing videos for everybody else and making them blow and making them look good. But
Mm-hmm.
then when I cut the camera off, now I'm just Peter Parker or Jarvis Parson, or however you want to put it. Right. So
Gotcha.
that me podcasting and me making my own YouTube puts more of a
Mm-hmm.
light on who I am as a person and how I think. And
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people, like a lot of people that I work with, like I got a homie, everybody know AJ McQueen, the one I've been working with for a
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
And he know a little bit more now, but for a while he didn't even know I was as opinionated as I am. Because
Uh-huh.
when I'm shooting videos of people, my opinions on life and my opinions on things that's going on it's not necessary when I'm working and shooting a video
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
them. I talk to them about stuff, but I'm not about to bring up no controversial
Yeah.
topic when you about to give me money to shoot your video. I think that's the
Right.
worst time to do that. So a lot of people didn't even know I had a voice like that. So
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm opinionated. I got my own point of views on things, and I'm very I'm very conscious when it comes to psychology and
Uh-huh.
understanding how people act and learning patterns and understanding people. So people don't my friends and family know that about me, but people in
Yeah.
general don't. So that's where this part came in at. And just also there's a
Gotcha.
lot of money in YouTube. So
Oh
if I
yeah,
can
for sure.
build that money where I can quit my job and then only shoot the projects I want to shoot,
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna do that as well.
Right,
So
that's the dream, right? That's the dream
right,
for all of us that are working day jobs still, while trying to build
right.
a career in entertainment or something like that. Because I mean, I feel
Right.
the same way, right? Like, uh, I like dabbling with comedy, and I try doing comedy here and there. I have this podcast where it gives me a chance to kind of showcase my personality, and and show like the way I think, and kind of dabble with my comedy, work out jokes with different people, but it also
Mhm.
gives me a chance to give people a platform, to come on here and then like express themselves, get their potential clients or other people that are just fans, get to know you a little bit better, which to me is like one of the most gratifying things is getting to get a guest on. We get to bullshit with them, we get to hang out.
Right.
That's friends being friends all the time, and that's one of the things I take pride of this podcast is that everyone that comes on here, they feel good about it.
Mhm.
We never try to get you with gotcha questions. We want to get to hang out with you and just watch you succeed as you go in your career.
Mhm.
But like I completely understand that where you're dabbling with multiple things at once and trying to find that way to get rid of the day job but still make that money so you can
Right,
work on
right.
just your projects, because
Right.
that's one of the things like we're trying to do here with like this podcast, and then we have other shows that we're trying to develop. But
Mhm.
the time that it takes to develop something, create it, edit it, and do all that, plus work a day job, plus have a
Right.
family and whatnot. It's crazy to balance out. And I
Mhm.
personally, I'm one of those people that I have severe ADHD, so I
Oh, okay.
suck at balancing things. I'm either work, or family. So like
Right,
I
yeah.
always have that constant battle myself.
Right.
But before the show we were talking about like always trying to succeed and have quality work, and just keep adding to our repertoires, and just succeeding at that, building a business off of it, and then starting the next business and building that up, and succeeding with it. And I told you that I wanted to talk to you about the 70% rule, and I
Mhm.
asked if you knew about it, and you said you weren't too sure. But pretty much the 70% rule is, like let's say with video editing, right?
Mhm.
Like you are an amazing editor, you're a great director, and you're great at doing what you do. Like making your
Mhm.
music videos are always super entertaining, they're clean cut. Like I've personally got to watch you grow from the at home
Yeah.
cell phone camera to where you're at now.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate it.
the idea of the 70% rule is like let's say you have your music directing business, right? And you're slowly growing it, you're slowly advancing it. So you concentrate on building that business. You concentrate on directing the video, but then delegating the work to be edited to someone else, right? And
Right.
the 70% rule is if someone can do it 70% as good as you, then you should consider having that person around to do that job, because if they're doing 70% of what your 100% is, it's still great. You know,
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. That makes sense.
yeah,
That
and
makes sense.
that allows you to grow that business, and then now you can take on more clients, or you can take on more work, or
Mm-hmm.
you can take the same amount of work and then go focus on your podcast over here, and then you build it up, build it up, build it up. Then you find someone that could do 70% of the editing as good as you can, as good as your 100% is,
Right. And
and
then I
then you
build something
delegate
else.
that, and yeah, and then you can just keep building and growing and expanding.
Yeah, and that's true. It's actually a YouTuber I watched that actually does that. He never explained it like that,
Hmm.
but now that you say it, and I see how he move, uh, he does a lot of that. Typically,
Yeah,
like finding, and that's the thing. Yeah, delegating. And I know a lot of times in this industry, especially with art and
so hard to let
creativity,
go.
it's so hard to let go. People want to be like, no, I want that. Like, no, I want that notoriety. I want that. I want to be shown that I'm good, and it
Hmm.
gets to the point to where Instagram is like a show and tell contest. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like where we always posting stuff on Instagram, especially as directors and creators. We always
Hmm.
posting stuff on Instagram to like we promote, but at the same time, while we're promoting, we're kind of like show and telling to our competition or to our peers. Like, oh, well,
Yeah.
look what I did. You know what I'm saying? So it can kind of get into that when it's like, okay, when you start really looking at it from a business aspect, how can you step away from that and, like you say,
Hmm.
delegate that to somebody that can do 70%? Because sometimes we'll feel like, man, if it ain't 100%, I'm not giving it away. Like, no,
Yeah.
it's still good enough to progress you forward. But if you could
Exactly.
focus on the most important things, then you can definitely
Yeah.
yeah, definitely can scale it and grow it. And that's something that I need
Exactly,
to
because
continue
if your
doing.
100% is outstanding,
Mhm.
someone 70% is gonna be great.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? And then I
Mhm.
mean, I mean, I go through the same thing, right? Because like I have a podcast and like there's other things I'm working on, and for me personally, it's hard to let go of the control of everything, right? Like
Mhm.
it's one of the things I've been working on this year, and one of the things like I've slowly started to realize that, oh shit, like it actually works. If you let other people handle the small things, where you already created the best content you could have created, right? Or
Right.
and you directed the best content you could have recorded. So at that point, the editing, if you delegate it to someone that can do 70% of what you do, if you're outstanding, theirs is great.
Right,
It's still
right.
good enough to pass on. And then when you delegate that, well, shit, now you can concentrate on, hey, I got two people that want a video. Well, shit, since I don't got to spend 2-3 hours of video editing, let me take on both jobs. Or,
Right.
like I said, you can do that, have a high quality piece, and then you can concentrate on promoting it rather than worrying about all the editing aspects of it.
Right, right, right. No, I definitely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Definitely can, definitely help scale. Like you say, you
Mm-hmm.
you can't be great without a team. And trust me, with me doing all these things like podcasts,
Mm-hmm.
videography, comic books, I'm doing all this. Like I'm doing a lot of it myself. Like I do all the editing on the podcast
Mm-hmm.
myself. I do, all the editing for my own videography myself, and with shooting it
Mm-hmm.
and I also do all my own comic books. So it's like making time for all of that is definitely difficult. I'm definitely though for sure gonna. I mean, I'm planning on delegating a lot of this stuff, but especially them comic books because I'm
Mm-hmm.
a amateur when it comes to. I know it might be hard for people to believe that because I be doing, but when it comes to like graphic design, I know how to
Mm-hmm.
do it to a degree. Not like creating graphics, but
Mm-hmm.
like putting artwork together, making dope covers and stuff like that, I can do it. But I know there's like way more people that's way better than me that I would prefer to do it. It's just I got the idea.
Yeah.
Let me pay you to create the book for me, and we all can make money off of it, right?
Hell
So
yeah.
that's something I definitely want to do. And also too, with even music videos, I even be telling myself, like, I used to always, even back when I was shooting them point and shoot cameras, I used to have an old meme that I made, and I was like, if you're not working with me with this point and shoot camera, don't try to work with me when I got a red camera. Right. So but at this point now, I don't even want to own a red camera no more. That was one of my highlights that I've always wanted. Don't get
Mhm,
wrong, a piece of me still want to own a red camera for the saying that, man, I got my own red.
mhm.
But I technically don't want to, because all that's doing is like throwing me back into the game of doing everything myself. There's
Yeah.
plenty of people that own Reds. I got a few homies that own Reds that I could reach out to and be
Mhm,
like, "Hey, bro, I want you to DP my video for me and do all the camera work."
mhm,
And I'll just take the footage and edit it myself, or I'll take the footage and give it to an editor and tell them how I need it edited, and all
mhm.
I do is focus on directing it. So some people are definitely better at it than me. I kind of got that, which I need to get out of it. I kind of got that if you want something done right, do it yourself mentality. I need to
Dude,
get out of that. I do, but it's the
honestly,
workaholic in me.
I've always had the same thing because I myself am a workaholic. I myself,
Okay.
even in my own like career, like I was a diesel mechanic for the longest time, and I was always
Okay.
like, I gotta have the last hand in there just to make sure everything's right.
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 But like I've learned, like I said, this year I've gone through a couple things that has made me try to think a little bit differently, and like I've been
Mhm.
trying to educate myself on the business aspect of things. Like it's really taught me, you got to drop the ego. Like if you really
Yeah.
want to hit that next level, like you can hit so far, but if you drop that ego, you can take that next step over.
Right. Right.
Where it's not like you have local success. Like now you got countrywide success, nationwide success, and it slowly builds because you're allowing people to handle the little things that you really, I mean, you can love doing it, but like if you let someone else handle it, now you can focus on the business aspect, you can focus on growing, or you can even focus
Right.
on educating yourself on how to do it better, right?
Right, right,
Or educating yourself, doing research on how you want it to look, different things like that. It's definitely like it's one of the hardest things to do, to be honest. Like is
right.
dropping that ego. Because like you said, you're a workaholic. I'm the same way, dude. I love working. And it's to the point where I'll work day and night. I'll skip sleeping just to get something done. But at the
Yeah,
end of the day, it's like, was that really worth it?
right,
It's things you gotta ask yourself. Is it really worth, killing yourself over this when you can just delegate it to someone, still make a profit, still break some bread, and you're still succeeding. You're accomplishing everything you want in a shorter amount of time.
right, right, right.
Hmm.
Definitely. And I think a lot of that too comes with investing, because depending on what like for instance, like the podcast sector of it, right?
Hmm.
Uh like we do our podcast, we don't make no money from our podcast yet. So anything that we were to do would strictly
Hmm.
come from our pockets. And so when it comes to things like that and other people that might be in similar situations,
Hmm.
a lot of that is just investing in yourself. People
Yeah,
gotta be willing to spend the money in hopes and with the knowing that you gonna get the return back
yeah.
eventually. You might not get it right away, but what happens is a lot of people don't want to spend money until they start making money. And
It just
like
don't
like
work
this
that way.
mic, like I
Yeah.
haven't made a single dollar yet. I've been
Hmm.
podcasting for a few years now, off and on, but I've been
Hmm.
podcasting for a few years, and I haven't made a single dollar off podcasting. Off using my voice on
Yeah.
the internet, I haven't made a single dollar yet. But I've spent 250 on a mic. We
Dude,
spent
I
we
feel you, man.
You
I
know what
feel
I'm
you. Like
saying? So
the initial investment we made into podcasting when I first started this, Like
Mhm.
we spent thousands of dollars. Like
Oh,
we went,
wow. Yeah, luckily I didn't have to do
yeah,
that.
we went into debt. We bought the best mics we could at the time. You know,
Yeah.
bought the best mixer, the best everything. We had a full setup, but we didn't handle it right. The first couple of
Okay.
years of this podcast, and we're just barely starting to break a little bread here and there. Which
Mhm.
I got a website that I can help you out with that might
Oh,
help
okay.
y'all make a couple bucks here and there.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'd
Yeah,
definitely love to hear that because
yeah. I'll
we
let you
just
know.
relying on YouTube.
Yeah, no. I'll let you know after. It's like a whole affiliate website. It'll
Oh,
help you
okay.
out. Yeah.
Definitely, I'm definitely with that. Anything to help push it forward because
No, yeah, for sure.
YouTube until you get monetized, yeah,
And it's hard, dude. Like we just started focusing on video content, and
mhm.
it's been a battle, dude. I liked it better where we just did audio, but
Yeah, because the algorithm on YouTube is crazy. We still to this day trying to figure out our algorithm and
hmm
figure out uh what style of, 'cause we talk about a range of things. So
yeah,
we trying to figure out what category do we fall in. 'Cause I watch a lot of like algorithm videos on like learning the algorithm, and not to veer off too
well,
much, but I do want to say this that YouTube does a lot of focusing on what they assume your channel is about. So when they
yeah,
do that, then that's how you once YouTube figure out what they think your channel is about, then they'll throw you into that audience that fits
hmm
that narrative. But trying to figure out where we fit at
dude.
is where we still trying to we're working
It's
on.
hard. Honestly, when you categorize your podcast, one thing
Mhm.
I've learned is list it as lifestyle and culture. Don't list it as
Okay.
anything else. Lifestyle and culture, for some reason, it expands the algorithm, and then based on what you tag your video, like all the little SEO tags,
Mhm.
that'll kind of kick it around that algorithm.
I ain't never thought about that. That's actually a
Yeah.
real
Uh,
general, but also it expand, yeah, like you said,
it
it opens
expands
up
it.
the doors
But
for it.
yeah, bro, I've been doing podcasting for almost 6 years now, and I'm still
Ooh.
learning things every day. Like I literally, you can ask my wife or anyone that sees me like throughout the day. I'm studying podcasting, bro. I'm literally watching other people's podcasts, seeing what they do.
Yeah.
Watching videos on how to boost your SEO and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Podcasting is my favorite thing. So I'm just like you, probably invest a lot of time in learning how to edit and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I invest my time in podcasting.
Yeah, no, you definitely put them 10,000 hours in,
Oh, for
definitely.
sure, man.
Yeah, no,
For
I
sure.
definitely, yeah, just podcasting has definitely been like a second passion of mine
Dude,
since
it's so
I've
much
been doing
fun.
it. It
It's so much
is.
fun. Like to me, my like I said earlier, my favorite thing is getting to hang out with the homies, dude. Getting
Yeah, it
to
is.
to reach back out to people that I knew in high school or before that. I had one of my childhood friends last year on here from California, and we
Oh,
chopped it
wow.
up for a while because he started this brand right here, Flair Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. That's
It's clothing
live.
brand and whatnot. Yeah, so shout out to them. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, like it's one of my favorite things. And then I get to meet new people. Like I sort of knew CA the Don in high school, but then when we started
Mhm.
this podcast, I reached out to him. He came on here and like he was fucking awesome. I'm excited to have your brother
Yeah.
on. Like I haven't seen your brother in forever. I think I've only met him once, to be honest. But it's dope
Oh,
that we're gonna have the
dang.
opportunity to chop it up with him.
Yeah, he real genuine,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so I mean, podcasting's fun. YouTube's fun. I love y'all's podcast, the Opinionated Podcast. Shout out to y'all.
Thank you.
Y'all
Yeah,
do
sure.
some great content. I was laughing this morning. I was watching the Kiki Palmer thing, and you just went in on them, dude. The Kiki Palmer and what's the other dude's name?
Darius
Yeah, it's
Jackson.
Darius Jackson. Yeah, yeah, y'all went in on them, but I mean, y'all made some good points, John. Like when I heard it, I
Yeah,
was like,
definitely.
it makes sense. They should have. I definitely believe they should have had a conversation
Right.
before all that blew up the way it did. But
Yeah, I definitely think so.
yeah, no, I love the podcast. I love the way y'all shoot it. It's cool
Mhm.
to see. And fuck, I was gonna ask you a question. My mind just went blank. I'm sorry. I've been drinking some tequila today, and
Oh, no, it's
yeah,
all good. It's all good.
no,
But yeah, the podcast is great. Like I said, I enjoy. We bring on different guests. People get to see a side of me that they not used to.
bro,
Like you said, the people, huh?
People that watch the Opinionated Podcast got a whole nother side of you that maybe not a lot of people know.
Yeah, facts. And I'm definitely, because people see me, like I said, the guys, the people that I do video work, and even people at my job, they don't even see that side. They see, most people see me as that nice, easygoing guy that just kind of like go along to get along, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't
Uh-huh.
cause no issues. I don't if I'm not that close to you, I'm not gonna say anything controversial because there's no
Yeah.
need for me to go to those extremes. For what? I'm just not that type of person. I just, I just try to get along with everybody,
Mhm.
because I'm very, I might be cool with a lot of people, and I might have a lot of people that I think that are great people, but
Mhm.
okay, let me not lie, because I'm about to sit here and lie and say that I don't open up, because I open up to a lot of people. If I feel you genuine, I'm gonna open up to you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I just try to be easy going with folks. And on the podcast, people see the side of me that like my family and friends see. And it got a little ego to it. It does.
Yeah.
And like
A
cause I
little
worked
sauce to it.
hard. You know what I'm saying? Like I worked hard my whole life to
Uh-huh.
get to where I'm at. And I put a lot of effort in, and I found my confidence. Cause I do want to say this. Growing up, like I said earlier in the show,
Mhm.
I participated in a lot of different sports, and I wasn't really great at anything until I really started doing these videos. So
Mhm.
I was insecure a lot. I didn't get the girls I always wanted. I wasn't viewed as one of the cool kids.
Mhm.
I was just kind of like the invisible guy, you know what I'm saying? And then the people that did know me thought I really wasn't capable of much. And then I
Mhm.
always fell asleep in all my classes, so a lot of my teachers didn't think I was going to amount to nothing.
Uh-huh.
So, and I barely graduated high school because I slept so much. Like barely. Like when I tell you
Uh-huh.
I barely graduated high school, when I grabbed my diploma, and when I grabbed my
Yeah.
the diploma off the stage, and then I walked down to get the rest of it,
Uh-huh.
the counselor gave me the diploma, whatever she got. I guess it was the diploma. She
Yeah.
gave it
Yeah.
to me, and she shook it. She was like, "You deserve this," because I swear to God, bro, that counselor, like a few months before graduation, my counselor was like, "I'm gonna tell you this now. I don't know how you're gonna do it. You can
Uh-huh.
graduate, but you got a small window. Kind of like how Iron Man had a small window to defeat Thanos. Like I
Yeah.
had that small of a window to graduate. She was like, I don't know how you're gonna do it, but
Uh-huh.
you're gonna need to like drop some of your classes and replace them with credit restoration. That's the only way you're gonna be able to do it. That's how bad it was. And when
Damn.
I actually, so I I was going to credit restoration every Saturday, and I was going to credit restoration 3 times, 3 periods out the day in high school. The last
Damn.
like semester of high school,
Uh-huh.
I dropped 3 classes, and I replaced them all three with credit restoration. So I was going to
Uh-huh.
credit restoration 3 times a day, and going on Saturdays, every Saturday. And I got it done, and I was able to
Uh-huh.
graduate on the minimum plan though. So I barely graduated. So I didn't
Hey,
even graduate on recommended. I was on the minimum.
hey,
So a
you
lot of
made it though.
people, yeah, I made it. So a lot of people thought that, man, he ain't gonna really be much or nothing. Like he barely got through
Uh-huh.
high school. So I didn't have a lot of I didn't really have great self esteem growing up.
Mhm.
I was bullied as a kid. I just
Mhm.
really didn't have a lot of confidence. And when I got into this video work and people started like praising me on how good I was, it helped build my confidence, and it helped
Mhm.
me find out who I was. And and then now that I can kind of step into my confidence, now I'm like this. I could push you know what I'm saying? I could push the
Yeah.
camera away and still. At one point, I only felt confident once I had a camera in my hand, but now I'm at the
Uh-huh.
point I could drop the camera. It don't matter. I'm him. Like when I think about all the things, and I'm about to go on an ego trip, but I'm gonna be real. When I think about all the things I've done, I help produce a podcast.
Mhm.
I do comic books that and it ain't just the fact that I know how to do those things. It's the mindset that takes to be great at those things. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people
Yeah.
that know how to do those things, but then there's those people that take those ideas and take it to another level. And I realize I don't just do that with videos. I do that with a lot of different aspects in life. And then when I realize that's who I am internally, my confidence just, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm on a podcast, some of that ego comes out a little bit. And it's like, I not even gonna say even ego, because I'm not egotistic. I don't throw my confidence in people's face as arrogance. I'm not that type of person. But my confidence, you see that confidence, and people see it as ego, or people see it. Well, it is a little ego, but people see it as, some people can see it as arrogance because they're not used to seeing me like that. Like I said, the people in my job, my friend, my distant friends, people that don't know me as well,
Yeah.
see that nice, easygoing guy, which I am that nice, easygoing guy. But they don't see the confident version of me until they go into the podcast. I'm like, dang, this
Gotcha.
boy really say he know what he talking about. He gonna stand on it, you know. They see a side of me like, dang, well, I didn't know he was like that. And it's
Yeah.
like that's the side of me that I want the world to see on a more grander scale, because I feel like that's the more authentic me, and not just the me that's just trying to get along with everybody. Cause I ain't got time to be dealing with people ignorance. You know what I'm saying? So.
Gotcha. No, and that's beautiful in its own thing, right? It's always better to be yourself, be
Mhm.
genuine, and just stick to being you, because that will take you further with people. Because I mean, you can feel when someone's not genuine. You can get it, or when they're just playing a character. But I
Mhm.
do gotta ask: has there ever been a moment where y'all had to stop recording or something, and someone was like, "JP, you're just out of pocket right now,"
Oh, close.
or like they
We
ice
did.
you out, they just mute you out?
Yeah. It wasn't like out of pocket, but I got super rowdy. But the thing is, we didn't stop the camera. We kept it going.
Okay.
And it was season 2
Uh huh.
when we did the Travis Scott episode.
Okay.
So
After
for
Astro
those,
World.
huh?
After Astro World.
Yeah, we were
Yeah.
talking about the Astro World situation when the people had died at Astro World.
Uh huh.
So for those that don't watch for those that don't watch a podcast like that, we got a few members in it, right? Well, we
Mm-hmm.
had more, but now we kind of reduced and got a fewer members, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the members I'm talking about right now is Spacely, Spacely Jones, and Josh. That's
Okay.
their name. Joshua Casey, the ones you see their names
Uh huh.
on the intro. So they my brothers. You know what I'm saying? They my brothers. I rock with them, right? But they're more spiritual than I am when it comes to the spiritual world and
Uh huh.
and things like that, right? I'm not a conspiracy theorist type of person. To
Okay.
be honest with you, I don't hate conspiracy theories. I'm the type, I can rock with a conspiracy theory
Uh
if
huh.
it makes sense and got some evidence to back it up, right?
Gotcha.
But conspiracy theories that you can just throw at the sky because people know how to put words together, but you got no evidence to
Uh
really back it up, gets on my nerves.
huh. That's
It
funny.
gets under my skin because I'm a logical based person.
Uh
I
huh.
go based off logic, right?
Uh huh.
And of course, I don't know everything, so it can be things that I'm not aware of that other people are. But if they are aware of it, they need to convey it better so it can make me understand that it's not just you just throwing shit at the wall and making it to it stick. You
Yeah.
actually saying something that got some real merited to it that
Uh
makes
huh.
some sense. So we were talking about the Travis Scott thing, right? And I'm not trying to speak too much for them, but
Mhm.
Spacely and Josh tend to be more into the conspiracy theory type of people. And
Yeah.
they was
Okay.
talking about like, he had to make sacrifices. Granted,
Mhm.
everybody got the right to their own opinion. And at the time when I after doing the video, looking back at it in hindsight, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Not wrong for how I felt, but I was wrong for how I reacted. So
Gotcha.
I do, yeah, right. So I did tell him that like I was wrong because
Yeah.
I pushed the envelope and kind of like tried to move the goalposts
Uh huh.
and not stay strict on the thing. And because I was trying to make somebody contradict themselves and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's
But
funny
yeah,
though.
yeah, I got super rowdy. They was talking about, sacrifice this, sacrifice that. And I was like, bro, this ain't even. But yeah, I was like, y'all always worry about Travis and people in that lane, like Travis Scott,
Mhm.
Drake, people like that. But then when we talk about other rappers like NBA YoungBoy, drill rappers, now when they
Mhm.
do it, it's not sacrificing. But when
No, that's
these
street
people do
shit.
it, it's sacrificing, right? So I was moving the goalposts because the conversation wasn't about drill rap. The conversation was
Yeah.
about Travis Scott. So I tried to merge the two to make a point, but
Mhm.
I was moving the goalposts and I was
Gotcha.
wrong. So though I still feel the same way and I don't
Yeah.
feel you know what I'm saying, but I was wrong in that context to try to
Gotcha.
bring something in that had nothing to do with the
Or how you
conversation.
handled it. Gotcha.
Right, yeah. And
No.
I got super rowdy and I was like, bro, y'all got me messed up. And I walked out. I walked out. And I actually used that as the highlight. But I was
Uh-huh.
like, no, bro, y'all tripping. I'm done with this conversation. And I walked out. I was like, bro, y'all
That's
not
so
playing with
funny.
me. And Dwayne was like, you loud and wrong. And I was. I was loud and wrong. But at the end of the day, uh, I respect them for what they stand for. That's people have the right to believe in what they believe in. That's just not
Uh-huh.
for me. And at the time, I just didn't handle it right, and they just got under my skin. Cause I be want to address some of that stuff. The people be
Yeah.
talking about it online, and I'm like, I mean, some stuff I could get with.
Mhm.
Some stuff I'm like, okay, y'all just do something and y'all just want it to stick so bad. And it's
Right.
so it just is what it is. But yeah, that was a moment where they was like, all right, JP, bro, you was over there. But I think that was about the closest to that we ever got.
Yeah, that's funny that you left, dude. That actually
Mhm,
that reminds me when I started this podcast with my other homie named Daniel.
mhm,
We used to record it in the apartment that he had, right? But I used to crash there most of the time. Like I used to stay with them. And I remember when we had a podcast going, and he was saying he could fight some UFC fighter, right? And I
mhm,
was like, even if you're 300 pounds over the dude, like you can't, right? And
mhm.
like I kept picking at him because I realized like he was full of shit and he was trying to make a point, but I had no point to make. So I kept
Yeah,
picking and picking and picking and picking. And I was just pissing him off as much as I could because I
yeah,
knew I was gonna get to the point either he was gonna hit me or he was gonna walk out the room, and either way, it was gonna be great content. And I was like, at this
right,
point,
right.
I might as well see where it goes. So I pissed
Yeah.
him off so much. We were betting if he could throw a high kick towards the end,
Okay.
and I pissed him off so much. And I was like, "Well, throw a fucking high kick. Let's see you do it." I was like, "Let me see how high you can kick your leg up." And he's like,
Yeah,
"No, I ain't fucking doing it." And I was like, "Come on, you were talking all that shit. Do it."
yeah,
And well, anyways, we kept going back and forth, and he just kept getting more and more mad, and I just kept fucking with him the whole time. And I got
yeah.
to the point where this dude left his apartment,
Uh-huh.
left me recording for like 3 hours. Like I was at his apartment by myself because it
Man, he
was
was so
so
mad he was so mad he left his own
his
apartment.
own
That's
place, man. Just left
crazy.
me there, and I was like, all right, man. I guess I'll chill and wait till you come back. But
Right.
that shit was funny, man.
Then that's crazy. Yeah, he was mad. And then for
Oh,
that long. That's
he was
crazy.
pissed, dude. Like I'm telling you, I just kept picking at him the whole time for like an hour long. I was just picking at him
Dang.
every time. But
Hey,
no, it's
you
good
gotta do
time.
for the content.
Yeah, but I mean, it's always fun. It's fun to see like when your friends get out of pocket too. I've said some out of pocket shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Mhm.
years ago, I said Elon Musk was retarded, and everyone that was on the podcast with me just paused and they're like, "Hold on, what did you say?" And I was like, "Well, yeah, Elon Musk is retarded. He has Asperger's," and no one believed me. And then like a month later, it came out that he had fucking Asperger's, and I was like, "See, I wasn't that out of pocket. That was
Right.
right."
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, he is super intelligent, but when it comes to like certain things, some people just lack not basic common sense. I ain't gonna say he lack
Nah,
common
look,
sense,
look,
but
look. This is what it is. The smartest people in the world have Asperger's. It's a known fact. Einstein had it. Elon Musk
so
has
what is
it.
Asperger's? 'Cause I know
So
you.
Asperger's is a um, it's like a mental health thing, right? Where
Okay.
you're, it's not that you're like one chromosome over, like you don't have autism. It's like
Okay.
a slight form of autism, but what it is truly is that your mind can only really focus on one thing at a time. So usually people with Asperger's, they're bad with social. like cues and things like that. Like they don't catch on to sarcasm and shit like that. But
Um,
because they're single minded, they can focus on one thing and be fucking amazing at it. That's why Albert
gotcha.
Einstein was so fucking smart and, found the theory of relativity. That's why Elon
Mhm.
Musk is so good at what he does as being an engineer, is because he can literally focus on one thing and one thing only, so he gets it perfect.
Gotcha.
But it is a form of autism, right? So when I said that, like everyone's like, "Whoa, like you're super out of pocket for saying that," but well, sort of, kind of right.
Right, it was true. So,
Yeah,
man,
but
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah,
You
but
learn something new every day. I wonder if I fall in that category. Uh,
I mean, you
yeah.
never know. My wife, before we got married, we got married through the Catholic Church, right? So we had to go through like
Mhm.
marriage prep and stuff. And she said that I was so single minded that I had to be retarded and have Asperger's. And she literally told
Damn.
everyone, like everyone we're doing marriage prep and everything. She's like, "Yeah, I think my future husband might be a little special here and might have autism." And,
Oh,
and
wow.
she just like, it was a running joke for her. She told everyone. She even told my mom. She's like, "I think your son has autism."
Dang.
But
Dang.
we ended up doing the online test. Come to find out, she's the one with the Asperger's, based on the online test.
Dang. Oh,
But yeah,
hey. And she
but
was focused on you, so hey, so
right?
she was secretly focused on you. That's all good.
No, but yeah, no, it's a good time, man. I can't believe you don't like conspiracy theories. Though. I felt like you'd be into them.
No, like I said, I'm a very logical based person.
Uh-huh.
If it makes sense, like for instance, and because we was actually supposed to do an episode about this, right?
Uh-huh.
So LeBron James' son, um,
You had a heart attack.
had a heart attack, right?
Uh-huh.
And they're trying to say he had this disease or whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
Me personally, and this is a conspiracy theory. Me personally, I think it's full of shit. I
Okay.
love LeBron. I'm a LeBron fan.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not gonna take that away from him. I think he's an amazing
Right.
person or whatever. But I think the excuse they use for his son to have that heart attack is full of shit. I don't think
Well,
that boy really had that disease like that.
you know what I think it was? No, I'm gonna go on a conspiracy trip right now. You know what I think it was? I think he
Was
got
I wanted the
vaccinated.
same thing, huh?
He got that COVID vaccine, dude, and it caused blood clots in them.
Oh, you think that's what
Same
it was?
same shit that fucked up Jamie Foxx. Same shit that's been fucking up everyone else.
Yeah,
They
cause
don't
I ain't
want
gonna
to say it.
lie, I ain't take that one thing as I agree on too. I ain't take that shot.
Bro,
I
I
ain't take
got that fucking vaccine and I got COVID 7 times since I've had it.
damn.
That shit don't work, bro.
Damn, yeah, I haven't. That's why I said I've never been tested for it, and I didn't go get the shot
Mhm.
either. So,
No, like I
I've
told you
been
before the
blessed to
show,
be
man.
alright.
I think I'm 1% COVID at this point. As many times as I've gotten
Yeah. So
it.
like certain things make sense, like because I was thinking like maybe he had the heart attack because think about it. He Bronny James. He's the son of one of the greatest. He's the son of one of the. He's the son of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
LeBron wants to play with his son in the NBA. So he wants his son, to get up there. So he's
Come,
trying to
bro.
LeBron trying to hang in long enough to play with his own son.
Yeah.
He has a lot of Bronny has a lot of pressure on him, trying to live up to
Oh
his
yeah.
dad's legacy, trying to be me personally. And this is not far fetched. This is why I say like my conspiracy theories gotta have some type of like logic that well, I don't say
Uh-huh.
logic because I don't have no evidence to back up what I'm saying, but
Uh-huh.
it gotta have some type of like I could see that. Like if I tell anybody this, they're gonna be like, I could see that. That definitely don't sound far fetched. Like
Uh-huh.
I think he's on performance enhancers. I can almost
Okay.
guarantee that boy's on performance enhancers.
I
He's
can see
LeBron
that.
James' son. He's trying to play, live up to. Don't get me wrong. LeBron is a great teacher, so I
Uh-huh.
know he got his son playing well too. But talent just don't roll over just like that. Boy, your son is probably on some performance enhancers to make sure he stay at the top of his game, so you can play with
Yeah.
him. I don't think that's very far fetched at all. And
I can see that.
you know what I'm saying. And I felt like if that was the case,
Uh-huh.
and he had a heart attack because of that. LeBron not gonna want that out there. That's gonna mess his brand up. So of course he's
Yeah.
gonna need something to cover that up. So I'm not saying that's what happened. Obviously, I'm the first one to say this is just my hypothesis. I have no evidence to back this up. But personally, based off how I feel and knowing that you got to meet certain people's expectations, I know what type of pressure that puts you on. And I'm not saying LeBron made him take performance enhancers. Maybe he taking them and LeBron don't know.
Or his
But
trainer.
you know what I'm saying? Or his trainer, like trying to get him to stay in that top shape so he could play with his dad. And I know how it feels. Even with my own father, sometimes I feel like I'm under pressure. And to have a father to that scale, and you trying to actually live up to him. I can only imagine what type of pressure that little boy under. So, I could very much see a lot of those performance enhancers cause heart problems. Because it was like, if it's really this disease, right, that he so-called had, that disease you get from birth. How you just now, you LeBron James' son, how you just now finding out about that? All the money and resources y'all have, and you just now finding out about that when he almost died. All the money you had, you could have found that out at birth or close to that. You know what I'm saying? Why now? You know what I'm saying? I think it's just a cover up personally. So like I said, I'm not completely against conspiracy theories. It's just some stuff when people say, he had to sacrifice his person so they can get on. Bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, come on, like, and me personally, how I feel about that is like, okay, if sacrificing somebody to get on is all you had to do, you know how many rappers out here really killing people for real? Why they not on? Yeah. Well, if they knew they all I had to do was kill this dude and I'd be rich and famous, man, I don't even like this. I'm about to go kill him right now. You know what I'm saying? So like, if that's really the case, why? You know what I'm saying? But I don't dive into that world. So maybe it's some stuff they know about that I don't know. But if it's as simple as sacrificing somebody,
there'd be a lot of street dudes and be
popular. It'll be a lot of street dudes being the number one artist in the world on the top billboard somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because they doing it like it ain't nothing, and they rapping about it, and they still not outdoing Drake. So it's like some of the stuff people just say, and when you use basic logic, it just don't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, how can that even? I don't know. That's where my argument was with that. But I'm not against it. It just some of it gotta make some sense. Okay. Yeah, it gotta have some points.
I got a conspiracy theory I wanted to ask you about. Since you are part of the Opinionated Podcast, I wanted to get your opinion on it.
Okay.
All right. You've heard of the Hawaii fires, right?
Hawaii fires. No, I actually
how Maui, the island of Maui, like burned up into toast.
Oh, I did hear about that. I did.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory that it was all set up? It was planned because they're trying to turn the island into a smart city, and to redo the infrastructure was going to cost too much money. So they planned a wildfire to burn the whole place down. And
I did not hear that.
And one of the biggest investors into it is Oprah.
Oh, wow.
So let me give you the rundown was, so earlier this year in January, the island of Maui had two meetings. One meeting was where they decided they wanted to turn the island of Maui into one of the U.S.'s first smart cities in the world. Okay. So they wanted to turn it into a full electric city. So they weren't going to run on gas anymore. All their vehicles were going to be electric. Their resources were going to be natural resources like water and wind and solar to create power. Okay. And they just weren't going to use gas anymore. They were going to be a fully Wi-Fi capable island. They were going to rebuild all these hotels and stuff with all the newest technology. That's all smart technology.
Okay.
The issue was they couldn't get enough people to sell their properties because those people have lived there for a lifetime. And to redo the entire infrastructure of that island was going to be extremely costly for these investors. Gotcha. So the conspiracy is that it was all planned so these investors can come in, buy the island dirt cheap off of these people, and then rebuild it as the smart city that they wanted to build. And on top of that, in December, they're supposed to have a city council meeting that's going to decide whether their whole government for that island is going to be completely ran by AI. So my question to you
makes sense.
is, does that sound plausible to you? Like,
yeah, that does. because now we're talking about finances and we're talking
Mhm.
about business moves. If you put that in the eyes of and I know this gonna sound bad, but if you put this in the eyes of an investor, that's a smart way to do it, even though you literally destroying the homes of thousands of people that chose, that
People that were trying to
grew
get
up
out
there.
already,
Right.
you
Huh?
know, those people that are already trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's I definitely think that sounds plausible because that sounds like a smart financial move and burn it down. Now we can buy that even cheaper than what it was going to originally cost. And they get the full control over it and get because
Mhm.
people gonna leave, they're not gonna want to stay there obviously because their homes are gone, so the property value gonna go down, and
Yeah.
they just be able to do what they got to do with it. So I can definitely see that being because I know it's a lot of corruption in this country.
Yeah. And
When
then
it
the
comes to
fucked up
money and
thing.
greed, I
Oh
when it
yeah.
I ain't no conspiracy in that. That's the truth, right? We all know it. But it's just when people start talking about I like spirits
that
and
that's what they believe
and
in.
and like supernatural shit, like
What about aliens?
okay, I believe in aliens.
You believe in
I
aliens?
do. I do believe in aliens.
Yes.
Yeah, I do believe in. I definitely believe in aliens. Yeah, and I genuinely believe because I believe as people
Uh-huh.
that religion is one of those things, and no disrespect to any religious people watching this, but I do believe religion is a form of control, right?
Mhm.
So if you can get everybody on the planet to believe in the different type of religions, you can have some type of control over society where chaos. Because naturally, humans gonna do what we're
Mhm.
creatures. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna naturally do what we gotta do to survive. But
Yeah.
if you put some type of moral ground over us, we already got a
Mhm.
conscience. So if you put some type of moral ground over us, a moral thought over us, it keep us civil from doing stuff that's out of pocket. Like the only reason why you won't go do something to somebody because in the eyes of God that's wrong and you don't want to
Mhm.
go to jail, right? But then l- let's say aliens are real. Now people gonna question if God is real. Now
Yeah.
you lose the control over humanity that you thought you have, and
Mhm.
now that shit gonna go there. Now you gonna see the real life purge go around in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? So
Bro.
like, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like them not wanting us to know about aliens is not so much that they scared the aliens gonna do something to us.
Mhm.
I personally feel they afraid of how society gonna how society gonna act once they start questioning, oh, is God real? And if God not real, I'm not saying God isn't, because I definitely believe in God, but I'm just saying like if you people gonna start questioning those things, like I thought we were the only ones, and then they gonna start questioning God, they're gonna start
Mhm.
questioning the government. Now you're gonna lose the control over your people, especially in a country like this where everything is about your own free will. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Once
yeah,
you lose that control over people's free will, then they get into real free will, and then now you don't got control over your people. So
yeah.
I definitely can think things like that. That's why I think they won't talk
Man,
about aliens being real because they just don't want to. They don't want to know how society gonna go to shits once we
yeah. But
realize that it is.
they've been slowly dabbling in,
They
telling
have
us that UFOs are real and things like that.
right.
I don't know. I personally I have a lot of crazy beliefs on there, and honestly, I think like me and you need to sit down for another podcast where we just talk about aliens and different shit because there's a lot of shit going on in my head right now. As soon as you said all that, where I was like,
Gotcha,
yeah,
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah, we're gonna have to sit down and do this again because there's a lot of things
I'm with it.
I want to kick back and forth with you on all that. Because I
Yeah,
mean,
definitely.
honestly, if we start, we're gonna go for like 3 hours at this
Yeah,
point.
no, facts. Yeah, no, because that stuff can.
'Cause I
I'm
love
not
that shit, dude.
well versed in that, but I got
Yeah.
my own opinions on it.
No, yeah, no, and I love that shit. Like, I believe in aliens. I
Hmm.
also like I grew up in a very religious household, but I'm not as religious as like I was as I grew up.
Hmm.
I tend like I believe in God, but I tend to question a lot of things about churches. And just
Yeah, no,
not
me
just one
too. Me
church, not
too.
just one religion, but all religions as a whole.
Hmm.
And I do believe that a lot of them are tied in together. They're just
Right.
sex. So that's why I'm like I want to get into it, but I know if we get into it at this point, we're gonna be out here forever.
Yeah, no, yeah, we could
So
definitely set that up to
we're
do
gonna have to
another
set that
one for
up to do
sure.
another one where we just go back
Yeah.
and forth on that because
Yeah, no, definitely, because I definitely agree with the. I'm not super religious. I believe in God, but I'm not a constant church goer. I
yeah.
don't got my own. I don't got a church that I go to. I'm just
Mhm.
kind of like I deal with God in my own personal relationship. So, we got a very strong one. So
Yes,
definitely.
sir. That's awesome. All right. Well, one more thing I wanted to ask you about before we
Mhm.
get into the listener questions.
Okay.
All right, have you heard what's going on with Japan and their radioactive water?
Nuh-uh.
Okay. So a couple years ago, there was a earthquake that made a
Okay.
tsunami in Japan, and
Okay.
literally the earthquake and tsunami hit the same city. And in that city, they had a nuclear reactor that failed, and they had to get all this water that went into it. They had to pump it out into tanks. So it's like super highly radioactive water that they put in these tanks, and they've been storing it and pumping it into those tanks. But now the tanks are too full, and they can't keep pumping it because they have to reopen the whole structure again because
Gotcha.
that part of the island's not getting water. I mean, not getting power. So they supposedly deneutralize the radiation, and they're starting to spill the water back into the ocean.
Oh wow, we're gonna have fucking mutant sharks and shit. They gonna create a fucking another megalodon up in this mug. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we're gonna have
Like,
three-eyed fish, like on the
huh?
Simpsons. We have
Oh yeah,
three-eyed fish.
3-eyed fish. They gonna turn into flounder. They gonna start talking and shit.
And you know what
It's
the crazy
gonna
part is? The
what?
Japanese prime minister today came out eating fresh seafood from their ocean to
Man.
prove that there's no radiation in the water.
Man, they know how to fake that shit, man. They know how to like eat on this one. But propaganda is real and so
Yeah.
strong. They know how to. Humans are flawed. We very much are. So those type of conspiracies I can get with. The only conspiracies that make me question is when people start talking about like uh I'm not big into that spiritual world when it comes to like random spirits. Like I'm
Mhm.
big in the spiritual world when it comes to like knowing thyself and stuff like that. That I get.
Yeah.
I get with all of that. But when it comes to like external spirits doing
Mhm.
physical stuff, that somebody's going to handle that one. I can't. You can't tell me like I can get that like certain music can have demonic rituals and shit. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
listen to Travis Scott all the time. He don't do shit to me.
I don't know, man. You ever?
I ain't never started
It,
thinking about doing some devil shit after listening to Travis Scott.
I
But
don't know,
you
man.
know,
I don't know. You ever listen to Taylor Swift, man? Taylor Swift be making you want to do some crazy shit.
I don't listen to Taylor Swift. I'm gonna leave that for the white girls. They got that. I'm gonna leave that for the white girls. They got that one. I'm chilling. I'm
All right, man.
chilling.
Let's wrap this up. Let's get into some listener questions.
Yeah, for
Um.
sure.
All right. All right. So the first question was, what was your greatest accomplishment this year?
Oh, this year, man, what was that? Dang, I don't. Dang, now that you put it like that, brother, I don't even know. I'm sure it's gonna deal with these comics. I'm sure, man. What's gonna happen is after I get off this, I'm gonna think of something that's gonna be too late. Um, uh, shoots. 'Cause I do so much, bro. I do, I be having so many moments where I'm proud of myself. But my proudest moment,
It don't even have to be a Spidey Webber moment. It could be a Jarvis Parson
right?
moment.
Yeah, just a moment myself. Just I don't know, man. I just do a lot of self development, and I would say the moment when I like, oh, and this is a personal moment. Um, cause I look up to my dad, and my dad is a very wise man. He even earlier when I was at the mall, he just talked me to death, but he be telling some really good nuggets. He a really wise man. I learned a lot from him.
Mhm.
But along with that, I am my own person. I develop a lot too. And sometime this year, he had mentioned to me, he was like, "Man, Jarvis, like hearing you talk, because we talk back and forth. Like he throw me ideas, I throw him, and he'll throw me information, I throw information back, stuff like that." And he told me one day, he was like, "Man, if I were to die right now, I know that you in good hands. You know, you will be able to carry on our name and like really like do something in the world." And
Mhm.
that really stuck with me because like kind of like how I talking about with Bonnie James, I always tried to meet certain expectations that I felt my dad had on me, and sometimes I had to release a lot of that and just set expectations for myself. But while doing that, I developed a lot, and I'm very big on self reflection. So
Mhm.
when he told me that, I knew that whatever I was doing was working. Because
Mhm.
not only my dad told me that, my mom made comments like that, and I'd be schooling my own parents and giving them information. So at
Mhm.
that moment, I realized that like when I do have a kid, I'm gonna be in that my kid gonna be in good hands, definitely for
Yeah.
sure. I might be small, and I might not weigh a whole much, but my brain is big
There
and
you
it's
go.
very
Right.
knowledgeable. So I would say that's about it. Because I can't when it comes to accomplishments, I do a lot, and I can't think
Mhm.
of nothing right off the head. I really
I'm
can't.
good. Shit, if you think about it, send me a voice note on Instagram. I'll go ahead and throw it in there.
Oh, gotcha, for
All right,
sure.
all right. Next question is for someone that's trying to get into directing music videos, what's the one piece of advice you'd give them?
Start off with yeah, and that's almost with anything in life, but definitely with this. Start off with people that trust you.
Gotcha.
Always do that because that's what's gonna build your confidence. I don't care if you are a confident person. Whenever you do something brand new that you're not great at, and you trying to get great at because you're just getting started, it's always good to deal with people that's going to encourage you, and it's always good to deal with people that's going to trust you. Because what's going to happen is as they start to trust you, then other people see them trust you, and then they want to trust you too. And then before you know it, you done been working with so many different people. That's on the mental standpoint, right? So
Mhm.
to work with people that trust you and work with close friends and family that's going to allow you to implement your ideas. Don't worry about making money for off rip. Worry
Mhm.
about gaining people's trust. Cause I swear, as soon as you gain their trust, the money is like it comes without saying. I know that's cliche. Oh, don't worry about the money and the money come. But I'm so dead serious. Trust and income, trust and people giving you money, it goes hand in hand. People
Yeah.
can't give you money if they don't trust you. So
Mhm.
allow them to trust you first, and then when they trust you, then the money will come. And people tend to follow what other people do. So if one person trusts you, a person that, like, for instance, I'm gonna use Spacey as an example.
Mhm.
Spacey has a lot of influence on a lot of people. If
Yeah.
Spacely trusts me to make his video, the people that look up the Space, they gonna also trust me because they gonna look at it like, dang, I got a lot of respect for Spacely. If Spacely can trust him, I know I can trust him. And then
Mhm.
I work with that person. Then the same, and then the cycle just keep repeating. The person that respects that person gonna think, man, if I could trust him, if he trusts him, I can trust him too. And it just goes around. And before you know it, you
Mhm.
start going up on your prices, and then people start trusting you with more money. That's
There
that.
you go.
Now when it comes to the technical things, um experience is the best teacher.
Mhm.
I don't got no college degree in none of this. I didn't go in no 4-year college for none of this. I did take courses online, not like college courses, but
Mhm.
I'll pay for other directors that made courses, and I'll pay for that, and I've learned like that too.
Mhm.
It's actually this one director that go way back. And I think he from another country. I don't even think he in the US. But he go way back when I was like really getting into the game. His name is Tom Antos. Tom Antos.
Mhm.
He taught me how to edit.
Okay.
Like I watched it, and like not like person to person. That man don't know me, but I've watched he made courses online, and I
Mm-hmm.
watched a lot of YouTube videos, and me studying him taught me how to edit. Now I
Okay.
don't edit like that no more, but that set the foundation on how I edit now, because I learned like that, and then I just added my own twist on top, and now
Mm-hmm.
I got my own way that I edit. But it
Okay.
started from there, right? So work also talk to people that's already been around the block and know a little bit, so you're not taking the long way around. So I would say that's three. Do some. So one would be work with people you trust. Two would be
Experience.
um experience. Experience is the best shit, so don't be afraid to fail. Like, a lot of people
Yeah.
want to be perfectionists, and they don't want to start until they got it completely perfect. I just showed y'all my comic books. I
Mm-hmm.
just showed you how one book is completely it look different from the other book, and then the other book got something new in the other book, because I just tried and error. I didn't wait till it was perfect. I put it out, and then I tweaked it as I kept going. So, and
Right.
I do that with everything video related. I do that with everything. When I shoot a video, the next video I get better because I tweak it, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
that all comes with experience. And thirdly, like I say, try to be mentored by somebody that's been there and done that, so they
Mm-hmm.
can give you some of the shortcuts, so you're not taking the long way around. Because I ain't grow up with no filmmaking homies. I got filmmaking homies now that I got some respect in the game. But before that, before I ain't had any respect, it was just me by myself.
Okay.
So I ain't have no filmmaking homies. The only homies I had was the people I watched on YouTube and was learning from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if you can have somebody that can teach you person to person, or teach you, like on an individual basis, it can shorten the term a little bit.
Uh-huh.
It's still not gonna get you. You still can't get around not doing the work yourself. Cause some people try to do that. They just want somebody to teach them, and they just think it's gonna make them great. You still got to go through the trial and error yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But that person can give you the shortcuts that keep you from taking the long way around, like I did. So, and then don't be afraid to invest in yourself. If you believe
Yeah.
in yourself, that would be the last thing. If you believe in yourself, nobody else will believe in you until you believe in yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So,
Okay. No, that's for sure. I'm a firm believer of that. You got to trust yourself and believe in yourself, and
mhm.
you just gotta blindly believe in yourself. If you feel
Blindly,
like you have that talent, just trust
just
that you're
go
gonna make
with
it
it.
happen. And
Mhm.
to piggyback on what you said, keep grinding. Don't ever
Yeah,
stop grinding. If you stop
never stop.
grinding, you're gonna quit right before you make it.
Yeah,
Because you never
yeah.
know when you're gonna make it. But if you stop, then you quit right before you made it.
Yeah, yeah. Do not quit. Don't quit. Like, especially, and one last thing I do want to say, and it's a positive thing, because I know, like, with rappers, people feel like once you start hitting your 30s, like, trying to still be a rapper is just childish, or whatever. But
Mhm.
I won't say that's childish, but rappers do, or artists, musical artists do tend to, especially in the hip hop world, do tend to have like a time frame. And it's,
Yeah,
if you don't blow up within a certain time frame, it's harder. Well, as a director, there is no time frame. You can
yeah,
I can be doing this for years and blow up when I'm 40. You
mhm,
got director X that's still a mainstream director now, and he was a mainstream director when he was shooting for Aaliyah. You know what I'm saying?
oh
You
shit,
got Dave Myers. Dave Myers used to work on Miss Elliott old videos, and he's
mhm,
still doing videos for Drake. And there's no cap to being a director. Like, you don't have to worry about, man, if I don't blow in the next few years, I'm gonna quit. No, like, this is when you when you in the director field, it's the long
mhm,
game.
yeah,
Because you behind the camera, people don't really see your face like that. So there's no time limit. As long as your brain keep working and you keep learning from what you're doing, you can forever be a star, or you can blow up later. It really don't
yeah,
matter. So I would definitely say that too. Like, don't worry about trying to blow up within a certain time frame. You got
yeah.
time.
That's perfectly said, man. Beautifully said, actually. All right.
Sure.
Next question is let's see. It says, having grown up watching lots of music videos and enjoying the almost cinema level quality of some of these videos, where do you see the most value? Like, what part of the budget for his shoots presents the most value for you?
So Creativity. So filmmakers will tell you in a heartbeat that nothing beats. Let's say you don't want to do music videos, you want to do it. It don't matter. Story is everything. So because music videos don't typically have story, you can swap story out for creativity. Creativity and story is the gist of everything. You can have the biggest budgets in the world, but if your story or creativity is whack, I mean, it just don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So, having the spark, being able to create an idea out your brain and make it very creative outside the box, or something that, and bringing the vision of the client to life, doing that at a very great scale, it's always the key thing. And then when you throw in a budget on top of that, it just allows you to do it at a higher level. I always tell people, money ain't the root of all evil. Well, I ain't gonna say that. Let's say, but I'm gonna just say, like, people always say money make you a bad person. Money just makes you more the person you already are. And that's the same thing when it comes to directing. If you are a great director, money is just gonna make you an even better great director. But money can't make a bad director a good director. It don't work like that. Like, people that's in the field gonna recognize a terrible video, whether you got money behind it or don't. People can recognize a terrible video. Matt Alonzo, was it Matt Alonzo? It was. Matt Alonzo will tell you any day, the most cheesiest thing is to make a video and do it exactly what the words say. Like, if the rappers say, I just spent the block, and I just spent the block with 100 in my pocket, and you show him doing that, it's like, it's just it's kind of cheesy, because instead of being creative with it, you just doing exactly what the rapper's saying. Like, so people can identify that's been in the game. So to stand out like Dave Myers, Matt Alonzo, Jacob Owens, Director X, is when you go outside the box and you make them think, like that Drake video that with him and Future, that old video, and like Director X was in it, or Drake was playing as the director. Like, at the end of the video, I can't remember the name of the video, but at the end of the video, it was the video where Drake and Future was acting like they was working at a fast food joint. I forgot the name of that. You remember that one? It was like a year or two. It was like 2 years ago. Yeah. Well, at the end of that video, Drake also played the role as a director. Was it Drake? It was Drake, right? I think it was Drake. He played the role as a director, and he was like, all right, I need to swap the lens out. That's thinking outside the box. You know what I'm saying? Director X could have put himself there, but nah, what he did was he just he just swapped it out. Thinking outside the box, being different is also creativity, by far. Creativity. And if you're in the filmmaking world, when you're making movies and shorts, story is key. Without story, all them great movies that got $1 million budgets. Well, not great movies, but all them like Marvel movies that got $1 million budgets, but they're terrible in the box office. They got all the budgets in the world that we pray we can have, but the movie was still terrible because the story sucks. You know what I'm saying? So story and creativity, that's the key to everything.
Yeah, perfectly said. Perfectly said. All right,
Appreciate it.
last fan question. What happened with the Spider-Man fan film you were making?
Man,
That was my question, actually.
so with
Did you
that,
trash
I'm
it?
gonna be honest. I ain't completely trash it, but like I said, I gotta. I was. It takes a lot of money to put that together,
Yeah.
and I wanted to raise money to do it, but for the reason I was doing it, I couldn't raise money for it because it would have. At the end of it, it would have turned out bad. Like, oh, that's why you raise money. So I can't talk about it here, but it's not a bad thing for why I raise money, but people can easily. It wouldn't have been a bad thing, but people can flip it and make it look like I was using other people's money for my own personal gain, and I don't want people to do that. So that means for me to do, because I'm a visionary. So I look at issues in the forefront, And I'm like, okay, I don't want that to happen. So this is what I need to do. So when I came up with that conclusion, I was like, all right, if I'm gonna do this, I gotta fund this shit myself. And life didn't work like that.
It never works like
It's not
that.
cheap. I mean, people was willing to do it for me,
Uh-huh.
like to act in it for free. They wasn't gonna charge me for that. But
Uh-huh.
the resources I need to get it done, like I need to shoot some in a high school, all that costs money, and that's just money I didn't have. And
Gotcha.
I couldn't do crowdfunding, like I said, for the reasoning. It
Uh-huh.
wouldn't have it would have somebody was gonna spin it.
Yeah, it
I
just
can
didn't feel
almost
right.
yeah, and it would have and even though I know it would have been wrong, it would be
Mhm.
hard for me to prove that they wrong, and it would have put a bad name on me. So I was like, nah, if I wanted to, I'm gonna have to just do it myself, so people
Yeah.
can't try to spin it on me. So
Okay. So
it
it's
is
on
what
the
it
shelf.
is. Yeah, it's on the shelf, definitely.
Okay.
And once my budget and everything started growing, and I delegate stuff to more, and that's too. It took a lot of time
Uh-huh.
because I work 6 days a week now in my job, so I don't no longer got like 2 off days. So I'm
Yeah.
always working, so I don't have a lot of time to like delegate. Not delegate, but to give to that like I
Uh-huh.
did at first. So I had to prioritize the things that was a little bit more important so I can because I don't know if people know, but we had a pay cut. So
Oh
I
shit.
had to work, I had to delegate on things that was making me more money at the time because this was gonna be a
Uh-huh.
passion project. So
Yeah.
I had to focus on things that was a little bit more of a priority, and so
Okay.
I did put down on the shelf. It's not completely going. What I do is I just thinking of ways to redo it, not redo it, but make it to where it's more budget friendly, to where
Uh-huh.
I don't have to worry about relying on a big budget, doing something that's a little bit more out the box and not trying to follow
Gotcha.
tradition and stuff. But I do want to say this. If anybody is looking for an amazing Spider-Man fan film, it's this guy. What's his name? Gavin.
Uh-huh.
Gavin, what's his last name? I forgot his last name. If you type in Gavin Spider-Man fan film, you'll see it's a Spider-Man Lotus fan
Okay.
film. When I tell you that shit was good.
Was it?
It was good. He released it like a few weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
It was anticipating for years. He was trying to get this thing dropped. And the thing he had to sacrifice to get this thing done was crazy. But he been working on this film for years. And he did the crowdfunding and he raised over $100,000 to shoot the film. And
Whoa.
what he did with that $100,000, because people might think that's a lot of money, but for a film, $100,000 ain't nothing. That's the
Mhm.
equivalent of trying to shoot a music video with like $200.
Yeah,
And you
yeah,
can do it, but you can't do much with that.
yeah.
And that's the same with $100,000 to an actual feature film.
Mhm.
He did feature film length, so it's like it's almost 2 hours long. But he
Shit.
dropped it a few weeks ago. And anybody that's a Spider-Man fan and want to see more Spider-Man content, you want to see it from a fan's point of view, made by a fan for fans.
Mhm.
Um, I would definitely go check that. The anticipation for that film got so big that the
Mhm.
actual director for the MCU Spider-Man shouted him out. Like that's how
Damn.
big that film got. Like he got a lot of recognition. He also got a lot of backlash
Okay.
later on, and it almost destroyed his career because somebody
Mhm.
tried to cancel him. They made him out to look like a racist. Do I think he's a racist? No. Did he make some comments that was a little
Out of pocket.
disingenuous? Yeah. He
Yeah.
probably should have did that. But I mean, it was old and he was younger at the time and he apologized and stuff like that. So I'm not sensitive like that. So I really don't be tripping. As long as I
Mhm.
know you don't got no real ill will intent and that people make mistakes, I get that. So I'm not one of those type of people to cancel people over old
Yeah.
stuff if you really a good person in heart.
Okay.
So but it almost canceled him. It almost people
Damn.
started like bashing him. People was talking about they don't want the film no more.
Uh-huh.
It really almost took him out.
Wow.
But he
That's
actually ended
crazy.
up, yeah, he stuck to it and dropped the film, and it
Uh-huh.
got over. I think it over 1 million views now. So if y'all
Shit.
type in Spider-Man Lotus by Gavin, uh, It'll
It
pop
should
up.
pop
It
up.
should be the first thing pop up. It's like
Okay.
2 hours long. It's great. It's really great, and it's made by a fan
Okay.
with fans for fans.
Shit,
So
I'm gonna watch
y'all
it
check
over the
that out.
weekend then.
Yeah, yeah, it's good, bro. It's
Yeah.
it's 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 a good. It's more. It feel more drama like. It's so it's not
Uh-huh.
so much comedy like Spider Man normally is. He's a little bit more funny.
Uh-huh.
It's more drama. So just go in there expecting to like either cry or be like really like emotionally invested. It's a lot of drama into it,
Okay.
but the action is good for a fan film. You would
Yeah.
the swinging the CGI is better than damn near better than the MCU. Like it's great.
Damn.
And he did his thing with that. Like he really
Yeah.
did. Like y'all gotta check that out for real. I will
Damn.
if I ever make a film, it need to look like that because that's the either worst
He
for
set the
real.
bar then.
He set the bar. He set the
Yeah.
bar for real.
Okay. That's badass. No, I'm definitely gonna have to check it out. Well,
Mhm.
Jarvis, SpidieWebHer, we're at the end of the interview. It's your time to shine. I appreciate you coming on. But why don't you let the people know where they can find you? Shout out all your links, your social medias. It's all you, boy.
Gotcha. So I got it's a bunch of them. So my main one is you can follow me on Instagram at SpidieWebHer. It's Spidie like it's backwards, but it's spelled like this. SPIDIE and then web and her all in one word. And you type that in on Instagram, I'll pop up. Or you can type my name in Jarvuis Parson and I'll also pop up either way. That's where I'm most active at. So if you want to reach me or anything, I'm mostly active right there. Then you also got my business page, SpidieWebHer Productions. Then you also got SpidieWebHer Comics. So those are all 3 pages. Then on the other side, I have the Opinionated Podcast. So I mean, if y'all want to check out my YouTube content, is you can follow me on YouTube at Spidie Off the Web. But that's when I say I'm off the web, I'm off. It's a play on word. I'm off the web, so it's a little bit more raw. So some people might like the content, some people may not. So it's a side of me that ain't so public. So that's why I don't promote it like that because I don't want it to interfere with my business, right? So I don't promote it too much. So I just let YouTube do its own thing. But the Opinionated Podcast for sure, y'all go follow me over there, and that's opinionated dot podcast on Instagram, and then the Opinionated Podcast on YouTube. And it's like the gold trophy looking logo. So you can follow me there. And I think that's it. I don't think I'm nowhere else. So yeah.
You think you got it covered?
Yeah,
What
I
about
think
your
that's it.
website?
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Got my website where I sell my comics on there too. But yeah, y'all can check out my website if y'all want to see my catalog on what I've done. Actually, all my videos not on there, but some of my favorite videos, my favorite music videos are on there. So if you check that out, that's some of my best work. And then I got my comics on there. If y'all want to buy some SpidieWebHer merch, you ain't gonna get this one. This is a Jarvis Parson exclusive, but you can get the hoodies and stuff also on my website. I sell
Okay.
my hoodies and t-shirts on that website as well. So if you ever wanna if anybody ever wanna like purchase a SpidieWebHer hoodie or anything of that liking, I can go in there and do that as well. And also, like I said, I just started selling my first comic book on there. So you go to my website and go to the Nothing Sweet comic. It's available for purchase if you want to do
Oh
that
yeah.
as well. So yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna have to go cop me one too.
I appreciate it. Yeah, man. I appreciate the love and support. And say it's
Oh
gonna
yeah.
be a whole catalog of these things. I
Yeah.
hopefully one day I can fill up my wall with all of them. You
That'd
know,
be dope. No,
that'd
I'm
be
definitely
nice.
gonna cop me a few of them as you start selling them, especially
Yeah,
since
for
we're
sure.
looking into getting a studio space. So that'd be pretty cool to have on the background.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. No,
Yeah,
definitely. Hopefully, I can get one with like a big time artist like J. Cole or something. Cause
yeah,
I
that'd be
that
dope.
man, I'd be a millionaire. He'll set them things. Them things are set.
Yeah,
Man, imagine if like 600,000 people buy them at $20.
bro.
Now, obviously, I split it with Cole, but
Yeah.
I get some bread off
No,
that.
but hold on, man. You got that one with peso.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if you've seen how big peso has blown up,
he is,
but
he is, he
especially
is.
in the Latin community, he's like top 3 Latin hip hop artists right now.
Dang, I didn't know he was that big
Yeah,
though.
like right now, especially here in like Texas,
Hmm.
we got that Mexican OT, we got Peso
Yeah.
Peso and Bo Bundy. Like those are the top three coming out of
Mm,
Houston, out of Texas. So I mean, you
gotcha.
got one there, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
Just let
definitely.
that one
Yeah.
marinate a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, no, for real. So hopefully that can help branch that out and can
Oh
sell.
yeah.
So I can that definitely help bring some in. I'm trying to grow this thing. I want to be able to delegate this to somebody that's more talented than me
Hmm.
and really take this comic book thing to the next level. And I can quit my job. That's what I'm
Oh
trying
yeah,
to do.
man. That's what's up. All right, guys. Well, thank you again, Jarvis, for coming on the show. Hang
Thank you for
out.
having me, bro. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, for sure. Anytime you want to come back on, just hit us up. You know how we are. We treat all our guests like family. So, you're part of our family. So anytime you got content you need help sharing, just tag us on it, send it to us. We'll share it on our social medias, our pages.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
all right, just like the Opinionated Podcast, y'all got an episode y'all want to push. Let us know. We'll put it on our stuff too. That way,
Oh, I
we spread the
appreciate
love.
that. I
Yeah,
will
because
definitely do the same as well. So I appreciate
appreciate it,
that.
man. It's
We
all
gotta
about.
get you on our show too. We definitely gonna have you as a guest on our
Shit,
show
I'm
for sure.
down. I'm down. You
Yeah,
let me
definitely.
know what we're talking about. I'll think of some shit to say.
Gotcha. Nah, definitely. At this point, we might have to bring you on an alien topic. That might
All right,
they might have us
I'm down,
rolling.
dude. I'm down. That's one of those things that it's a weird fascination for me. It's like
Okay.
aliens, religion. They fascinate me in such a weird way where I'll do deep dives just to learn something, just to find
Yeah.
out that it's all bullshit. But it was just fun for me to see. Like,
Yeah, but I feel you. I feel
yeah.
you.
Oh, but yeah.
Definitely. Okay.
Thank you again, dude. This was a lot of fun. Again, it's great to hang out with you, even if it's virtually. It's fucking cool that
Mhm.
we get to hang out still, and I get to see how you've grown your career and get to talk to you a little bit to see where you're at. So I really appreciate you coming on. I appreciate all the listeners. If y'all like what y'all heard, give us a thumbs up, a 5-star review, give us a follow, a subscribe on YouTube. Go follow Jarvis. Go follow all his pages. Cop yourself a comic book. Follow the Opinionated Podcast. This has been the Weekly D Podcast. My name's Danny G. That's SpidieWebHer. And remember, if you can't get it daily, get it weekly. Peace.
Peace.